crowd. Let's see here. Thanks for coming out and supporting live comedy, first of all. I've had the privilege of having a lot of great support in my comedy career over the years. My family in particular, very, very supportive. Both my parents, my sisters, my uncles, all loving my comedy career, and that really means a lot to me. So I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight and supporting once again this ridiculous pursuit. You guys got some drinks tonight? I think we're going to enjoy ourselves. Yeah. Were you clapping in the back there? No? You're excited, right? You think you have good seats? Back seats really good for comedy, but don't get too cocky. Abe Lincoln thought he had great seats too. I'll know what happens there. I'm not saying anyone's going to blow your head off at this show. In fact, I have approximately 0 assassinations that have occurred in my comedy shows. Except the ones that I attempt on myself when it doesn't go well. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. No, thanks guys for coming out, appreciate it. I don't see a table that's actually full though. We're kind of scattered about here. That's bad, right? When you can't even sell out a whole table. There's still not even a table that's full, but we'll do what we can here on a Wednesday night. You guys look like you're having a good... You guys are all together here, the 4 of you? Alright. You guys all on one drink bill?
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty simple question. Kind of a yes or no type. My advice is this: don't be the one getting stuck with the bill at the end of the night, because you guys know how that's going to go. Whoever's in charge of that, you know. All right, guys, the bill's $286. Everybody throwing what they owe. Everyone throw it. Tom, you guys are good. Yeah. All right. Yeah, just trying to figure out why I only have $14 here. Everyone's getting up and leaving. That's cool. I'll just take care of it. No problem at all. I work at Sears. It's not a big deal. Pick up the old tab again. I can't go out drinking, certainly not on the weeknights anymore like you guys are doing. I can't even do it on the weekends. I think I'm just getting too old for it. Because it's always the same people, and it's always just the same scene, right? And there's always those guys. I mean, I'm older now, I don't have to really deal with this, but I remember back in the day, there were always those guys that wanted to compete for girls when you go out, right? They were this kind of douchebag, chauvinistic types. I think I found a way to get back at those guys. I will go up to them as they're sipping on a drink, and I will have my chest exposed, my shirt unbuttoned, and I'll be like, "Hey Dave, I've been waiting in the bathroom for over an hour. Are we doing this or what, man?" We had an appointment. So I'll get back at that guy, you know? Shut him up pretty quick. Of course, I wish I would have thought of that in my early 20s when that was a problem. Another reason I can't go out anymore, I did go out the other night, and I made the mistake of ordering a martini at the bar and then taking it back to my seat. So I don't know if you guys have ever done this, ordered a martini over here, and then had to walk it back over here. Super fun. Only takes about 3 days to get back to your seat. You feel like kind of a fucking moron. You're just like, it's okay guys, it'll just be another 45 minutes or so. I'm just gonna take this amazingly awkward drink back to my seat. Yeah. That's only $15. I've spilled 8 of it already. There goes the rest of it, okay. Bartender, get me another drink, please. Maybe something that's actually enclosed around the liquid. I don't know if you have any drinking vessels of that sort. Someone's drinking a Coors Light over here. That's an easy drink to drink. There you go. A couple of proud members of the white trash community. I love Coors Light. I don't think it's a white trash beer. In fact, I think it's a very smart beer, okay? It's the only beer that has that technology on there where the beer tells you when it's cold. 3 activation levels: cold, very cold, super cold. Boy, thank God for that technology, huh? Remember how chaotic light beer was before that? Everybody was just reaching out for beers that weren't ready yet. You're like, God, son of a bitch, why can't these things tell me when they're ready to drink? I'm a busy man, I can't be going around touching beers all day long. A little bit lazy, I'll admit. Wish my wife had a label on her so I could tell when she's pissed off at me. Because we never know, do we really? You know? If she had a label, it would be a lot easier. We could be like, all right, let's see if she's in the mood tonight. No, not according to the label. I was hoping to tap the Rockies tonight, but that woman is super cold. So we're better again. Now, I'm glad you guys are here tonight, actually. A very special night for me. I think tonight is actually going to be my last night performing stand-up comedy altogether. Stop it. No, it's not that I don't want to do it anymore. It's just that, I'm getting older now. I need a steady paycheck. I need a more stabilized career, right? And it's just time for that. I need a more stable career. So as of this week, I'm happy to announce I just accepted an offer to get the band back together. I think it's the right decision for a man of my age, right? I'm 37, it's time to start chasing some dreams, taking some risks, I'm very happy about that. My wife, super excited about that. She can't stop talking about it. Even called a family attorney to tell him the good news. So we'll look forward to that outcome. It's good to be back on the West Coast. I did do some time in New York. I was out there for about 10 years, and it is nice to be back in California. I got to see my sister's baby for the first time when I moved back. Super cute kid, 6 months old, beautiful child. But when I was on the East Coast, I would talk about him on the phone. That's all we would do. And she would always say the same thing. It kind of was a little bit strange to me. She'd always say, "Oh, Brad, I can't wait for you to meet him. He is such a good baby. He is such a good baby." And it kind of got me thinking, like, well, is there really such thing as a bad baby? Like, I know some are fussier than others, but do you really ever walk away from the interaction? You're like, dude, did you meet that baby? What a dick! Toothless bastard thinks he's the only one in the room, man. Really breastfeeding in front of everybody? A douchebag. I'm not going to use him as a wingman, I'll tell you that. You gotta grow up though. I mean, that's the phase that I'm in right now. My sister's got a kid, I'm not dating anymore, I'm not single anymore, and that's fine with me because I just totally gave up on dating because I, got married. And, it's kind of a logical deduction there, but I do remember when I was dating and being single, like I had some bad experiences, like everybody else, I ended up breaking up with a girl, because we were just fighting over the stupidest things, really, really stupid things. I remember I went to a family reunion with her, and she came up to me and complained that I was being antisocial, that I wasn't letting her family get to know me. So I was like, fine, whatever. So I came down out of the tree. I lost the camouflage off my face. And the thing about me is, I don't like to break up with a girl unless I know for sure that she's not the one. I like to give the relationship a fair chance to succeed. But then I remembered another relationship which ended badly over a game of Connect 4. I don't know if you guys have ever broken up over a child's board game, but great experience, let me tell you. So we're playing this game. I am beating the shit out of her in this game, right? Just dominating her. I think at this point I had 3 in a row or something. She hadn't even gone yet, so that's really bothersome to her. And I don't know what happened. I guess I just rubbed it in a little bit too much and started bragging a little bit too much. She started getting really upset. She's like, I can't believe you do this. I'm like, are you really telling me that you have never had a beer poured over your head after losing a game of Connect 4? That's honestly never happened to you, is what you're telling me. And she started lashing out at me. She's like, you are out of line. You're such an asshole. You are out of line. I'm like, wow. I'll tell you what is in line. It's 4 red checkers. We can play it again if you want, but... Of course, I'm going to need another beer. Wasted that last one on a loser. You got to be selective when you're single, right? But you don't want to be too picky. That's the key. Don't be too picky. Like, my sister-in-law is still single, and I think she's single because she's just too picky. And I try to play matchmaker, right? So I set her up with this guy that I thought she totally hit it off with. Great match, a lot in common. She went out with him once, didn't want to go out with him again. And so I talked to her about it. I'm like, look, I think you're being too picky. You're focusing on all the wrong things here, okay? Go out with him again, all right? This time, don't focus so much on this colostomy bag. Try and find things that compliment you guys, okay? Try and find things where you're a compliment. For instance, you're really into women's rights. He thinks he has a right to women. That's perfect, okay? You like doing a lot of charity work? I'm telling you, this fucking guy is a charity case, okay? You're gonna love him, all right? You're a professional. You got a great career as a drug and substance abuse counselor. This guy's practically incurable. I don't see what the problem is here, You just can't be too picky. You gotta focus on the deal breakers, I think. And that's over for me, though. I think think I'm just getting tired of people in general. I think that's what happens when you get older. You're just becoming less tolerant in general of things. Like at this point, I'm not looking to add any friends to my life. I'm looking to fire a few people, I need to kind of skim the roster a little bit. Maybe have a mutual friend on hand to escort him off the premises, So who's that all about? I don't know. Apparently, he always has to come to you. You never go to his place. He wants you out of here. Let's just not make it any more difficult. And then he's gone. That's where I'm at in my life, I think. And I think it happens more in your 20s where you get these people, like they refuse to make plans even though they have no plans. And you know who I'm talking about, because it's probably you. You know the guy, like, dude, 4th of July, man, I'm having a party at my place, gonna go to the rooftop, dude, we're gonna have some fireworks, some beers, you wanna come, man? Oh, yeah, dude, that's cool, yeah. Let me just think here real quick. Trying to think if I had anything that I would rather do. That it would be better than that. Dude, tell you what, can I just get back to you? Because as of right now, I'm just not sure what I'm doing on the 4th. Oh, dude, yeah, it's totally fine, man. Can I tell you what? Standing invitation to answer me right now. Because you obviously don't have any fucking plans. I'm offering you something to do, and you're over there checking your imaginary calendar, all right? Tell you what, forget the 4th of July. Next time I have a douchebag party, I'll give you a call, all right? You'll be first on the list, have some cold Zimas waiting for you, some Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Yeah.
Nothing but the best for my boy. I want to be that guy, That's the same kind of dishonesty you get from people over the phone when they do this to you, yeah? Well, listen, man, I don't want to keep you. I'll let you go. Gosh, that's funny. I don't remember saying anything about having to go. Actually, you've been doing most of the talking. I was waiting to start talking about me, but yeah, that's fine. I guess we could talk some other time when you think I'm less busy. Normally, I make those decisions as to whether I have to go or not. Yeah, fuck it. I'll just hand it over to you from now on. How am I doing, by the way? I was going to tell you, but you're kicking me off the phone like a dick. How's my prostate? Any ideas? You let me know. Yeah, you don't want to be that person, right? People make strange decisions, though. And it gets stranger and stranger as you get older. A buddy of mine just had a penile reduction surgery. Yeah, he purposely made his penis smaller with surgery. I don't know what the deductible was on that, half inch, I don't know. But he actually had this happen. And I don't want to say anything about his race or ethnicity, but I will give you a hint. He is not Asian. And the weird thing is like, I know this guy. We go back together in high school, like we play sports, so I've seen him naked plenty of times, right? I mean, not like a gay way, but like at a rest stop or whatever. And I tell you, I really don't think this guy's offering more down there than I am, okay? So if he's getting a penile reduction surgery, I think maybe I should get a penile reduction surgery. I'm not actually going to do it, but I was just curious about it. So I made an appointment with the same doctor, had the evaluation, went in, took my pants down. He's like, absolutely, we should definitely have this surgery, Brett. There is no reason you need 2 of those. Let's get you down to 1. A lot of people are just going with 1 these days. It's all the rage. My only question for you is, do you want to keep all 4 of those, or... It's a testicular math joke for those who are following along. It's like having to explain my jokes. Super fun. Got a lot of room up here. I feel like I should get my water, or somebody should perhaps get it for me. But, anyway, I guess I'll start. Maybe I'll just pace back and forth like a black comic in an HBO special. Throw some shit behind me, all aggressive. Some of this shit. No water, they don't like water. For some reason, they don't really. Where were we? Penile reduction? Okay. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. Round of applause for her. Hilarious. Drinking water. I was going to close with that, but I decided to just do it now. So none of that is my problem anymore. I don't need to fire any more friends. I'm not single anymore. I've retired my penis because I got married. So I did get married, and I've been married for 5 years, but I do remember the time. See, this is the thing. It's like marriage is not for everybody, right? There's a lot of people that don't want to get married. There's a lot of people that are cynical about marriage, and a lot of people that are cynical to your face about it. And I remember when I told my roommate at the time, I was living with a guy, told my roommate that I was thinking about popping a question, and he's like, dude, what? Like, dude, don't do it, bro. You get engaged, party's over, bro. Get married and the party is over. I'm like, first of all, you're 41 and you just had to pause your video game to give me relationship advice. Gotta say, I'm not really sure you're the go-to guy on this kind of thing. The Gandalf of romantic wizardry. I do not think of you in that way. Love the sweatpants, but shut the fuck up. And secondly, like, what party are you referring to exactly? Is it the one where I walk into the apartment and the whole place smells like feet and ass? Because that is a blast, let me tell you. Yeah, stepping on Funyuns all the way through the hall. There's a beer can in the toilet. Yeah, dude, we should totally get a studio apartment and shack up for the next 20 years being you. Because then I can wake up every Sunday and smell your hangover farts and listen to you talk about your fucking fantasy team in the fourth person. Dude, we're 4-0, bro. 4-0. No, they're 4-0. You just O. You are O. Just a big 0. Big difference between what they do and working at Kinko's. One of them being they weren't turned down twice for management. So don't think you're the guy to tell me that the party's over. That's, How about the guy that proposes at sporting events? Ladies, do you think this is a good idea? Is this romantic? Would you like to be proposed to at a sporting event? It's not, right? I don't know what's going on with these guys. Some douchebag already did it already. I don't know what's going on in the guy's head, right, ladies? Like, it's not a romantic gesture at all. And I would like to actually see the wheels turning in the conversation that he's having in his own head when that happens. Like, honey, you do anything Friday night? Okay, good. Don't make any plans. Oh, why not? Well, first of all, we're going to hop in the car, and I'm going to take you to go see some shit that you do not care about at all. Then, I'm going to stuff you full of greasy food. It's going to make you feel nice and fat, possibly gassy. And then, like a gentleman, I'm going to pump you full of cheap, stale beer to make sure your judgment is impaired. And then I'm going to ask you to marry me. Just the kind of guy I am. Ignore the face paint. I really do mean that. I really do mean it, sweetheart. You ever see the look on the girl's face? There's always like this conflicted look of excitement and confusion and fear. It's always just like, because you see her on the Jumbotron, right? And she's always like, oh my god, this is so exciting. What the fuck are you doing? What's so embarrassing? No, of course I'll say yes. What fucking choice do I have? I'm on the screen. And now, oh yeah, let me see the ring. It's fantastic. Cubic zirconium, holy shit. This is how it's going for me. Let's lock it in. Great idea. Take a good look at her face, because that's pretty much what she's saying. The wedding planning part. Is anybody here engaged or about to get married or anything?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, all right, good deal. So, surely some of you are, and he's not the only one. But if you are, I'm here to tell you, like, honestly, the wedding planning part, that's a really fun time. I know it gets a bad rap, and it's supposed to be stressful and all that, but the wedding planning part is really a time to cherish. The only thing I would say, like, for the guys that are thinking about doing this, engaged, going through this wedding planning phase, the only thing I would say, like, and just as a testing ground, you know, the only thing I would recommend is killing yourself. Because there is no better way to fight over a shade of purple than if you're already dead. I think that's the way to handle that argument, really. Well, my wife and I did, though, you gotta delegate it, right? You gotta divvy up the division of labor. So my wife, she handled the venue, she handled the food, the flowers, she was in charge of all that, whereas I was in charge of everything we're not gonna do. Yeah, I would just handle all the useless opinions and subjections right over here. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I got pretty good at it. I think I'm an expert at what not to do at a wedding. I think I'm gonna set up my own wedding planning company just for men. Yeah, I'm gonna call it That's Stupid, We're Not Doing That. That's what it's gonna be called. And then guys can just call in and be like, good afternoon, that's stupid, we're not doing that. Oh yeah, I wanna get a Guns N' Roses tribute band at my reception. Yeah, I just told you, that's stupid, we're not doing that. Oh yeah, okay, sorry. Hang up the phone. Yeah. Good afternoon, that's stupid, we're not doing that, you're a dickhead. That's just how it goes. I remember planning my wedding. What I struggled with was the invitation list. All right, it's really hard to decide who's going to get a green light to come to your wedding. She's got her side, you've got your side. And I just got so flustered with it. I was so frustrated that I just made up a rule. If you're in my phone, you're getting an invitation. I don't care how far back it goes. I don't care how you got in my phone. You're getting an invitation. Simple, right? Which I guess explains why a hot redheaded bartender showed up. She was on the dance floor most of the night with Time Warner Cable. At table 9, we had the entire staff from Papa John's on Astoria Boulevard. I don't know if you guys have had a whole table of Puerto Ricans at your wedding, but bit of a rowdy bunch. I figured, what's fun? Tried to start their own parade at my wedding. So I was lenient considering they were catering. It's fine. It worked out. It's good. Weddings are tough though, man. Getting married is tough. I think I do like my wedding. I remember it very well. I like dancing at weddings, specifically my own, because as a groom, you get a chance to dance with your mom. That's very sweet. The mother-groom dance is a very special moment. But for those guys that are considering doing this, you guys should be careful because you got to select a song to dance with your mother, okay? And that's very important, all right? So you got to be very selective as you go through that process, because you think you found a great song, and you're like, you've always been there for me in the pain that I've been through. I love you, Mom. But when we make love... sorry about that, Mom. I probably should have listened to that all the way through before I showed it. Now look at the bright side. We only have 4 more minutes of this in front of our entire family and friends. Sure, it'll be fine. You're welcome. Something to look out for. My wife and I, we've been married 5 years. We still feel like newlyweds, though, and so as a result, we are still doing what newlyweds do, exactly, in the bedroom, in the living room, the kitchen table. Just arguing everywhere. I gotta sort that out. I remember one of our first fights, it was a knockdown, drag-out. She found out that I pee in the shower. Everyone pees in the shower, right, sir? Everyone does it, you know? I'm pretty sure the Pope pees in the shower at some point. It's not a big deal, but she was really upset about it. Like, that is disgusting. I can't believe that you do that. I'm like, hey, you know what? Shower by yourself from now on, okay? I don't need this. Don't assume you can hop in with me and then start criticizing my bathing habits, okay? You wanted asparagus for dinner, I was pushing for broccoli. That is not on me. That is on you. That is on you. I don't leave the bathroom when you're trying to pee, even though you've begged me to. I'm a committed husband. I am in it. God, you hate reading about spousal abuse too, right? Like, it's so sad. You read it in the paper, you see it on an episode of Cops, if that show's still on. You know, it's really sad to see spousal abuse. And then you get married and you're like, let's see how that maybe, let's see how that maybe hashed itself out there in a kind of a physical way. You know? Totally get it. I'll be the first to admit I am not afraid to abuse my wife at all. I will abuse the hell out of her, okay? But it's not what you think. I would never raise a hand to her or harm her physically in any way. Absolutely not. Way too stubborn to learn from that. What I do, you gotta find ways that count. You gotta find ways to abuse them that really count. So if I feel like my wife's playing unfair, like she's, you know, being passive-aggressive, rolling her eyes, dude, she may come home the next night and find a couch pillow out of place. Maybe 2 if I'm really pissed. Maybe I replace the whole upholstery. Now it doesn't match the drapes at all. The fuck are you gonna do then, huh? Yeah, you wanna play dirty? You wanna hit below the belt? Well, you're damn right I'm gonna use your expensive shampoo because I am all out. I am all out. Oh, you had a stressful day? Oh, honey, let me make you a cocktail real quick. Oh, that's right, I forgot to fill the ice trays. Enjoy that shit neat, because you're not having it on the rocks. Right? You gotta find ways that make it count, you know? You gotta play the game. You gotta communicate, though, in a relationship. That's really the key. And I think people don't do this well enough, but I think people should do this. I think it's a great tactic, and that's to have year-end reviews at the end of your... Why not have year-end reviews? You know, like in a corporate setting? Because then you can... I think women in particular would like to have this with their men. Wouldn't that be great, ladies? You can call them into your bedroom, like an office setting, you know? You got him right where you want him. He's scared as shit. He knows he phoned it in. Did not have a good performance this year whatsoever. And you just be like, Rob, we're ready for you. Want some water, some coffee, or anything before we start? No? You good? Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll start on a positive note here. I think 2015 was a pretty good year. There's just a few dozen things that I'd like to take issue with. I want to start with your general attitude towards cleaning up after yourself. Not saying it's bad, but we'd love to see more of it. A lot more of it, actually. Also notice you're getting a little bit of a beer gut there. It's actually not so little now that I take a second look. You do wear it well, it's kind of cute in its own way, but when you factor in your receding hairline and general lack of hygiene, it's a fucking problem. Need you to tighten up, get the goddamn gym for once in your life, especially if you ever want to have sex again. That's entirely up to you. I'm okay with that, frankly. If we never do that again, that's fine with me. And on that note, I was wondering how you feel about separate beds for the next 6 months. Don't get me wrong, love the farting. Especially when you pull the covers up over my head and trap me in the rear like that. What a great experience. So if we can just make those minor tweaks, and then come 2016, well, see if we can get you that doggy style you've been asking for. Just go with it. You don't have to applause just because it was an act-out joke. But I appreciate it. Let's see. Gosh, there's a lot going on in my life. We are thinking about having a kid. We're trying to start the family planning process. And we've been trying for a little while now. Apparently, there are different, you can change up your sexual position. You can make that change, and apparently there are certain sexual positions that are more conducive to conceiving. So if you change your sexual position, you have a better chance of getting pregnant. So right away, we have immediately switched to vaginal intercourse. I really do think that's going to make a big difference. She's going to enjoy it so much more. And I, of course, won't be nearly as sore. So that's a minor change, but an important one, I think. Some little things, just tweak it. So we're doing that, and I'm happy to stay at work, actually. We're due in April. We're going to have a baby, and... Yeah, we hate ourselves, boo. Boo to all those virtues. Yeah, so that's happening, and we're going to do the surprise thing. We're not going to find out what we're having, so we're just going to wait and see what we're having, which is fine with me. I mean, it's not like there's a ton of options, I'm either going to have a boy or an orphan, and as long as it's healthy, that's really what matters. No, I actually would have to like to have a little princess, a little daughter. I think that'd be great. And not just because I like writing checks. I think I love comedy, but I also love drama. I think there's a lot of because if you're gonna write checks either way, right? It just depends on what you're gonna write the check for. If it's a boy, it's gonna be something like, all right, so what's his bail amount again? It's like 35 grand or something. You said it was just the front fender. Oh, it's total. It's total. Okay, got it. I'm trying to drop that guy from my plan right away. It just varies, that's all. And as long as it's healthy, we'll be happy about that. And I think this is going to be it for us, because it's expensive to have kids. It's not like back in the day you can have 3 or 4 kids and really afford it, So I think we're just going to do one and done. And after that, I'm going to get snipped. Which I know is weird, because most guys get circumcised at birth. But the fact is, people are waiting longer. They're waiting longer these days to do that. I'm just going to do what I can. Help the old foreskin cause. Is that a cause? I don't think that's a cause.
It's a cause, yeah.
But you know what? It's not that we're entering, fatherhood, entering motherhood, being a family. It's not that we're afraid of having kids. We're afraid of having lame kids. Okay? Not like wheelchair lame. I can handle that. But I mean like really socially lame that I would rather not have. Like if he's into robotics or something, take a fucking hike, dude, because I can't work with that. You're either going to be an athlete or an artist, one of the two. Start looking for a new home otherwise, Because here's the thing, like, my wife's a worrier, okay? So she worries about some of the weirdest things when it comes to this, entering, motherhood and whatnot. It's like, well, what if they're the smelly kid in school, Or what if they can't get a date to prom? Or what if they're the bully? Or what if they get hit by a bus on the way to school? Honey, calm down. First of all, if they're the smelly kid and they can't get a date and they're the bully, fuck, I want them to get hit by a bus. I do. I can't have that kind of legacy walking around with my name attached to it. I'm a grown-ass man. I gotta look out for myself. I don't want that to happen. Plus, I don't want to have the conversation as they get older, because you get to be 15, 16, you start piecing it together, what you're good at, what you're not good at, what your gifts are, what you're not, gifted at. I don't want to have a conversation later on in life where my kid's like, Dad, I'm going to keep working really hard, and, someday I'm going to practice on the piano, and I'm going to play Carnegie Hall someday. Well, that's really nice, Bill. I appreciate that, but, see that hook on your right hand? That's called a deal breaker, buddy. I mean, maybe if it was on your left hand, it was an accident that, you had when you were a baby. All right, fine, it was an accident I had when you were a baby. But, maybe if it was on your left hand, you can kind of bang away on the bass notes, maybe get by, I'm not sure. But I don't want to have that conversation. And then well into their teens, I certainly don't want to have that. They're like, Dad, I'm going to practice every day, I'm going to get on the court, and someday I'm going to play in the NBA. You'll see. First of all, Jacob, you are Jewish, so that is not happening already. You're 5'6", you got the Jew fro going on, you're already following the NASDAQ. I just don't see you really playing in the NBA. Now, you might go on to manage those players as an agent later on in their career, but I just don't think you're going to see a whole lot of court time, all right? Unless you're representing them in a court of law for whatever illegal shit they did this time, probably a custody hearing. Something like that. It's the only way you're going to get on the court. I feel sorry for those kids though, that I feel sorry for the parents when their kids, you raise your kid and they end up being like a stripper or something. That's really sad, right? This is your baby, you coddled it, you tried to raise it right, you tried to do right by it, and then they end up like in some stage, like doing that reverse thing down on the pole, a see-through thong, and you're like, fuck, I didn't raise my son to be like this. I cannot support this as a father, I really can't, You're supposed to be a ball player or a basketball player. You can't do that, you just don't look forward to that whatsoever, and I don't at all. I just remember a simpler time when I was a kid, I remember a simpler time, summer camp comes to mind, that was really fun, right? But summer camp, I do remember this. You'd shack up with the other boys, you'd make a mess out of the cabin, your clothes are stuck out everywhere. That was a great time. I do remember this, though. A lot of the other boys, they had their name written on their underwear. You guys remember this? They would actually claim their underwear in writing. And I was just under the impression that, well, if I'm wearing my underwear, then that would automatically make it not your underwear. Forever. Okay, we're not trading up here, okay? There's enough baseball cards, right? I'm not going to trade you an 86 Brett Anderson for an 89 Rich Corsetti. Don't get me wrong, Corsetti had a great year that year. Pissed his pants a lot. But it's not a collector's item, is what I'm saying. So why are we claiming underwear and writing? I think it was the mothers that was doing this, right? Moms were writing it on their sons' underwear. I don't know about you, but in the 1980s, going to summer camp, I think that what you were really worried about is serial killers and hockey masks. That was the big thing. But apparently these moms had their finger on the pulse of the real epidemic, boyhood underwear thievery that was sweeping the nation at the time. I don't know what was going on. My mom did not get the memo. She did not label my underwear. And boy, am I glad she didn't, because I can think of at least 2 occasions in summer camp where something horrible happened to my underwear. And let's just say, I did not want my name attached to it. I saw no reason to broadcast whose underwear this was on the shower floor, thus putting my name at the scene of this horrific crime. Check for fingerprints if you want, but I'm not going to self-promote that particular event. Oh, thanks. Speaking of writing things where they don't belong, I was in a bathroom stall recently, a public restroom. I saw some writing on the side of the bathroom stall. I've never understood that, why people feel the need to write on a bathroom stall. I love literature as much as the next guy. I'm a reader, but I've never understood that. So they write something, and what really baffles me is why people feel the need to respond to it. Like the original author's going to be back on the crapper the next day, checking their work, you know, seeing if they get published or something, you know. I have no idea what's going on with that. They just sit down, they're just like, huh, looks like Joey was here. Certainly can't let that go without a response. Joey is queer. Take that, Joey. Now you're a homosexual. There's nothing you can do about it because it's been published. Then some other third party chimes in with something random like, you're both queer, kiss rules. That just starts this whole chain reaction of nonsense, you know. Kiss sucks, Motorhead rules. Dude, your mom gave me Motorhead. What are we talking about at this point in the conversation? Can't we just get back to the fact that Joey was simply here? That's really what we're trying to establish. A simple fact, and he might be a homosexual. We're bringing moms into it, heavy metal blowjobs. It's not right. And why is everybody walking around with a Sharpie? I did not get that memo. Permanent Sharpie. A lot of nonsense in the world, man. I can't believe what people still do, you know. I remember that I was doing a show in upstate New York, and I was just on fire with comedy, right? So my career was doing great. I was at this really swanky show, and there I am at this pizza parlor, like, in front of 12 people, figuring out how I'm going to fire my agent. And I look in the back of the room, and I see like several mullets by the bar, like people wearing mullets. And I was like, wow, people still do that. That's crazy. Now, what do they say about a mullet? Business up front, party in the back, exactly. Let's talk about the first one, business up front. If you have a mullet, you probably don't have a business. Unless you're handing out White Snake t-shirts after the concerts in Milwaukee. Yeah! And if that's a party in the back, if that's really what's going on back there, you'll pardon me if I call the cops and have them break that shit up. I'm offended by your face in the hand. You gotta move on, you gotta grow up, you gotta be a better adult. That's what I'm trying to do. I did my own taxes this year for the first time.
Attaboy.
Yeah, did my own taxes, very proud of myself. Do you guys use TurboTax? You ever use this program?
Yeah.
Yeah, TurboTax, great program if you don't know that much about taxes. Terrific program if you want to continue to not know that much about taxes. I did them though, I think I did them right. I got back $700,000. That's just from federal, just from federal. Which I'm glad about. It should offset in California. But I think I made a mistake though. I filled out a Schedule C, which is the form you fill out when you own your own business. Filled it out as a male prostitute. Not gonna lie to you guys, took a little bit of a loss this year. Actually ending up having to pay out of pocket to have sex with my wife, which is called a business write-off, and you guys have done that. It's all about the deductions, find the loopholes in the system. I wish I was an NBA basketball player just for the child care write-offs. I think that would be great. You know, one player, 9 kids each. You gotta find where it's at. You know? So I think that TurboTax encourages you to cheat on your taxes. I really do think they do that, because as soon as you log in, they got that little box in the left-hand corner that says, "Welcome back, Brett. Here's what we've calculated your refund to be so far. $3,600. Well, fuck, let's just go ahead and file that bad boy now. It's certainly not going to make any headway by entering my... You're the expert, TurboTax. I'm just a humble male prostitute trying to do it right. What do you say, Joe? Applause break on a tax joke. Remember that, because you'll never see it again. Yeah, I think adulthood makes you spot a lot of BS in the world, right? It just does. You spot more BS, like advertising, for example. I was watching TV, I saw an advertisement for Taco Bell, and they were advertising their new triple steak nachos, featuring, you ready? Premium thick-cut meat. Premium thick-cut steak. Now, I have worked in the food service industry before. I know how to describe food. I've also been to Taco Bell, had their meat, and I gotta tell you, there are certain descriptors that come to mind. Premium is not one of them. Actual steak is not one of them. And so I was thinking like, oh, I see what you did here. They're probably being sarcastic. They're being ironic here. Premium steak to go with your premium customers who drive through at premium hours of the night to fill up their premium buzz, to avoid a higher insurance premium. I get what you did there. Taco Bell, shouldn't that just be a DUI checkpoint after 10 p.m.? You know? That's really what it is. They changed the menu. You gotta have different things on there. You drive up, like, yeah, let me get the detox nachos, do the breathalyzer burrito, let's make that supreme. Something to drink, sir? Nope, had several already. The fuck do you think it's 1 o'clock and I'm driving through here? Not because my trainer told me to get on it. I don't know how I go order that anyway. We go up to the counter, like, premium meats, like you're being a little bit, funny there, like, can I help you, sir? Yeah, what do you have in the premium meats category? I'm looking for something marbled, maybe an on-the-bone cut, prime, if you have it, USDA prime. Yeah, we're gonna give you some shit that was barely considered an animal before we got it. It has been dry-aged into the fender of a Chevy Blazer. And you are definitely gonna want that to go so you could be near your own toilet. That's how we roll here, trust me. Fast food restaurants, man. I was in a Burger King recently, because, things are going well. And, I was up at the counter and I saw they had job applications right on the counter there. I was like, well, that's odd. So as I'm filling this thing out, I noticed that there is a work history section on the job application. Work history section. Exactly what were you doing before that you thought Burger King was an advancement opportunity? What were you jacking off turkeys in a farm somewhere? Your buddy's like, dude, I just got on at Burger King. Dude, you gotta get me in over there, all right? I can't keep doing this. Shouldn't that be your first job at Taco Bell or Burger King, right? Fast food, all that should be your first job. So I don't even know how the interview would go, like, oh, Brett, thanks for coming in. I'm just looking at your application here. It says here before this you were doing your chores and helping out around the house. And then before that, you spent about 4 years playing with Lincoln Logs and doing long division. Well, Brett, if you're a hard worker and you're good at math, like it says here, we probably can't use you here at Burger King. We're looking for somebody with a background in E. coli and regret. And I'm just not seeing it here on your tough luck. It's hard to get jobs though. Interviews are tough. They actually have seminars you can go to learn how to do better at interviews, actually perform better in interviews, learn how to answer the questions. I don't think I'd be very good at that, because I don't handle the questions very well when that comes my way. I think I would just forget everything come test time. Like when you study, you think you're prepared, then you go in and you blow it. You'd be like, so Brett, tell me about yourself. Fuck, I know this one. False? Okay, Brett, well, clearly you're mentally handicapped, so we're just going to go ahead and shred your resume right in front of you. Not that we expect you to understand what's happening right now. Don't ever look for a job on Craigslist, that's horrible. I saw a job description on there. This was for a doorman at a dive bar, like if you want to work the door at a dive bar, everybody does, right? And that's not so odd that it was a doorman at a bar, it was a job advertisement, but what it said in the advertisement, please send a cover letter and a resume. First of all, you definitely do not have a LinkedIn profile to look at as a doorman in a bar, but it was the cover letter that got me. Like, really, what am I supposed to say in that, you know? To whom it may concern. I'd like to work your door. I've opened and closed many doors in the past, which makes me a great fit for your door. After all, what's one more door? Sincerely, Bruno. Can't do that, right? Cover letters are hard. Sometimes you get a rejection letter in the mail from a job you applied to and you think you were qualified for that. Kind of upsetting, right? I remember I got one of those a while back. I was totally overqualified for this job, got a rejection letter. So what I did was I went ahead and sent the letter back to them, rejecting their rejection letter. It's like, I'm so sorry, I can't accept your rejection at this time. As you can imagine, competition to be denied by you is fierce at the moment. It was a tough decision, but I'm gonna fucking come in on Monday anyway. Suck it. That's how you handle that. You're welcome to take that. I'm a very musical person. I do comedy, but I also like music. Music's an important part of my life. I like paying attention to the lyrics in songs, except sometimes it bothers me when somebody's trying to sound eloquent and then they end up sounding like an imbecile in the song, right? They're just trying too hard. There's a few examples of that. Like, I remember listening to a song, Take Me Home Tonight by Eddie Money.
Yeah.
Hit. Take Me Home Tonight. Great song, right? The opening lyric of that song goes like this. I feel a hunger, it's a hunger. I thought we just established that. For the record, I was not confused when you first told me that it was a hunger. You're saying that it is indeed a fact a hunger. Okay, got it. Nailed that down. Van Halen's got a song from the Sammy Hagar years. He's like, only time will tell if we stand the test of time. Sammy, I'm not really sure how you understand how time works. It can't measure itself. Now, you should take a physics class, come back and write some jokes that make sense, you dipshit. My favorite, though, is a song called Jailbreak by Thin Lizzy. They're an Irish band. Same thing, opening lyric, it's like, tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in this town. Well, I'm no detective, but it's probably gonna be at the jail. I know we're not in Vegas or anything, but that's where my money's going. I don't think anybody's going to be like, where do all these prisoners come from? I don't know, man. Check the library. That's where they were at. Hair metal's the best, though. Hair metal is best, because those guys can't write lyrics to save their life, right? It's just completely asinine. Like the song, I'm thinking of one in particular, We're Not Gonna Take It by Twisted Sister. I don't know if you guys have heard that song, but that's all he says in the entire song. He is simply trying to communicate to you that he is not gonna take it. Over and over. And whatever happened 30 seconds after he told you he's not gonna take it, well, he's not gonna take that either. That's what he's doing throughout the song. And it occurred to me, like, during the writing process, like, is he just really racking his brain over that? Like, trying to figure out what to put down? He's like, God, let's see, I'm an angry transvestite. What can I write about? We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it. Anymore. Guys, you gotta check out this new song I wrote. It's gonna make us millions of dollars. We're gonna play it in an arena. We're not gonna take it all the way through the song, that's what he says. Well, D, based on that huge blonde perm you have and all that makeup you're wearing, I think you probably are taking it. That's just my assessment. Sports is another important part of my life. I like watching college football. You guys like college football? Yeah. Everybody does, right? These guys are great athletes. They're on scholarship. They've worked hard to get to where they want to be. That's understandable. But what makes a guy want to be a male cheerleader? I don't know. Maybe they're born with it. Maybe that kind of behavior is innate. You know, just because it's tough. It's a tough job. It might be an innate behavior. You're just like, dude, Tom, you want to take the trucks, go off-roading this weekend? Like, yeah, man, that'd be sweet. Tom, could you never fucking do that again, please? I'll be honest with you, our friendship is on the line right now. It's a tough job being a male cheerleader, right? Because you gotta have the stamina, you gotta have the energy, plus you gotta have the strength to tell your dad. That's not good news for him, right? Yeah. Hey, Dad, remember that fishing trip we were going on? Yeah, I'm actually going to put on a sweater and prance around like a gazelle. Hope that's okay. My favorite sporting event, though, is the World Strongman competition on ESPN. You guys watch this? World Strongman, it's on at like 3 a.m. You just came home from a bender. Terrific show to watch. And I like it because all these guys are from like Norway, Sweden, and Iceland, so they only have one vowel in their name, and the rest is just consonants, you know? Like, coming up next in the tractor pull is 3-time champion Sven. And he'll be followed by the newcomer, Jorgensen. And then we'll see some work for the new company, for the new rookie here, Sven Jorgensen Svenstensjorgen. I was watching this competition, this guy's like lifting a truck with his penis. And then he like ate one of the tires and let out this huge roar, like, ah! That got me thinking, like, when he was born, did his mother even have to push? Or did he just crawl out on mere strength, you know? And like, ah! Is there no uterus that can match my strength? You think your vaginal canal will contain me? Fools, for I am a baby strong man. Doc, you might want to come in here and look at this. This lady just gave birth to a 48-pound baby. Yeah, he just ate a thermometer. Now he's doing one-arm push-ups. Take a look. You guys have been great. I'm Brett Anderson.